Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation, stop whatever you are doing right now because what you are about to hear could completely change the direction of this franchise. And if you love Dallas Cowboys news, inside information, and real breakdowns that go deeper than the headlines, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications because stories like this are breaking fast and you do not want to miss what comes next. Because today we are diving into one of the most shocking, controversial, and conversation-starting developments surrounding the Dallas Cowboys in recent memory, and it all centers around Jonathan Gannon and what he reportedly said about the possibility of signing on as the Cowboys' defensive coordinator. Over the past few days, whispers around the league have turned into full-blown chatter, and Cowboys fans everywhere are asking the same question: did Jonathan Gannon really say that about Dallas, Jerry Jones, and this defense? And if so, what does it mean for the future of this team? Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, it is important to understand the context here, because this story is not just about a coach potentially changing jobs, it is about philosophy, culture, pressure, and what it truly means to coach defense for the most scrutinized franchise in all of sports. According to multiple league insiders and media conversations circulating behind the scenes, Jonathan Gannon has been unusually candid when discussing the idea of coordinating a defense in Dallas, and the tone of his remarks has caught a lot of people off guard. Gannon, known for his calm demeanor and analytical approach, reportedly described the Cowboys' job as one of the most demanding defensive roles in football, and that single statement alone sent shockwaves through Cowboys circles because it perfectly captures both the opportunity and the risk that comes with wearing that star. What really set social media on fire, though, was when Gannon allegedly went a step further and acknowledged that coaching the Cowboys' defense is not just about X's and O's, but about handling expectation, media pressure, and a fan base that demands dominance every single Sunday. For many Cowboys fans, that honesty was refreshing. For others, it raised concerns. Because when a coach openly acknowledges the pressure, the question becomes whether he embraces it or fears it. As the conversation continued, sources claim Gannon spoke about the Cowboys' defensive talent in glowing terms, reportedly saying that few teams in the NFL offer the combination of elite pass rushers, athletic linebackers, and ball-hawking defensive backs that Dallas currently has. That comment alone fueled speculation that Gannon sees the Cowboys not as a rebuild, but as a ready-made unit capable of leading a championship run if used correctly. And that is where things get really interesting. Gannon is widely known as a coach who values adaptability and situational football. He believes defenses should be built to respond to modern NFL offenses rather than stubbornly sticking to one rigid scheme. When he reportedly mentioned that Dallas has the personnel to be multiple and unpredictable, many fans immediately connected the dots and began imagining what this defense could look like under his guidance. Faster adjustments, smarter disguises, less predictability in big moments. But here is the part that truly stunned people. Gannon allegedly admitted that the Cowboys' job would require him to be comfortable being second-guessed every week, not just by media analysts, but by millions of fans. That line spread like wildfire because it speaks directly to the reality of coaching in Dallas. Every blitz call, every coverage breakdown, every fourth-quarter drive is magnified. There is no hiding in Dallas. And Gannon knows that. What makes this even more fascinating is Gannon's reputation around the league. He is viewed as a coach who prepares meticulously, communicates clearly, and builds trust with players. Several players who have worked with him in the past have described him as someone who empowers defenders to understand why they are doing something, not just what they are doing. If that philosophy were to be brought to Dallas, it could represent a major shift in how this defense operates, especially in late-game situations where confusion and hesitation have historically cost the Cowboys dearly. At the same time, not everyone is convinced this would be a perfect match. Some critics have pointed out that Gannon's defenses have been criticized in the past for being too conservative in critical moments. Cowboys fans, who have lived through years of passive zone coverage and late-game collapses, are understandably wary of any coach who might prioritize caution over aggression. And that is why Gannon's reported comments about being willing to adjust identity based on opponent and moment matter so much. If true, that statement suggests Gannon understands one of the biggest frustrations Cowboys fans have had for years: the inability to close games when it matters most. He reportedly acknowledged that in Dallas, success is not measured by regular season rankings but by January results. That alone shows a level of awareness that not every coach demonstrates when discussing this job. Another reported comment that raised eyebrows was Gannon's acknowledgement of Jerry Jones' involvement and presence. He allegedly said that anyone coaching in Dallas must understand that ownership visibility is part of the job, and that transparency and communication are essential. That is a diplomatic way of saying what many coaches think but never say out loud. The Cowboys are different. And Gannon seems to know exactly what he would be walking into. From a strategic standpoint, fans have already begun speculating about how Gannon might use Dallas' defensive stars. Would Micah Parsons be unleashed even more creatively, lining up all over the field to confuse offenses? Would the secondary benefit from more disguised coverages designed to bait quarterbacks into mistakes? Would the defensive line rotate more to stay fresh late in games? These are the questions that have Cowboys fans buzzing right now. What cannot be ignored is how this story reflects the broader direction of the Cowboys organization. Whether or not Jonathan Gannon ultimately signs on as defensive coordinator, the fact that his reported comments are being taken so seriously shows how desperate this fan base is for a defensive identity that holds up under playoff pressure. Cowboys fans are tired of great regular seasons followed by painful endings. They want accountability. They want innovation. And they want a defense that rises when the lights are brightest. Gannon's reported honesty about the challenges of the job may actually be what endears him to many fans. In a league full of coach speak and vague promises, acknowledging the difficulty of the Cowboys' role feels real. It feels grounded. And for a fan base that has heard "this is our year" too many times, realism might be the first step toward real change. As the rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear: Jonathan Gannon's name is now firmly in the Cowboys conversation, and what he reportedly said has opened the door to a much bigger discussion about what this defense needs to become. Whether this ends in a signing or not, the comments themselves have already sparked debate, excitement, skepticism, and hope all at once. And that is the power of a moment like this. It forces everyone, from fans to front office executives, to ask hard questions. Are the Cowboys ready to embrace a defensive leader who understands both the opportunity and the pressure? Are they willing to support a coordinator who may challenge old habits and demand adaptability? And is this franchise finally ready to align talent with modern defensive thinking? As this story continues to develop, you can be sure we will be tracking every update, every report, and every reaction from around the league. Because if Jonathan Gannon truly believes what he reportedly said about the Cowboys' job, then this could be one of the most important defensive decisions Dallas has faced in years. So make sure you are subscribed, make sure notifications are on, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Jonathan Gannon is the right fit for the Cowboys defense? Or do these reported comments raise red flags for you? One way or another, Cowboys Nation, this is a story that is far from over.